Okay, welcome guys. This is our second episode of Better Globally, where we explore art of being better. Today we have a very special guest.
Special
Manny
guest.
Alfonso. And to be honest, because you do so many things, how would you like me to call you? Because you're like the CEO or the president of AGroup, also La Liga, Contra Cancer.
Well,
So how would you introduce yourself?
Man of many trades.
Okay, that's a good start.
That's a good. I am CEO of everything.
Okay, yeah, the CEO of the world.
No, if I be CEO of the world, I mean, we'd be changing a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean,
no, listen, CEO of the AGroup, vice president of volunteer and telethon coordinator for the League Against Cancer, which is the organization I represent and I work for and I raise money for on a yearly basis. Apart from that, partner with lots of other ventures, partner with our friend Edward.
yeah.
And
Edward, just make it Spanish.
Eduardo. So yeah, those are the titles if you want the title. But better title, I call it is
El Jefe.
Oh well, that's what they'll call me here. But I call it also the burning out fires, apaga fuego. You know, so it's like everybody phone call, Manny, what? Manny, what? So all we do is Manny, what? And we go and resolve the problem.
Yeah, I already noticed you get so many phone calls. I don't know if I could handle that. But listen.
Well, listen, you and if you be in my house and you be Team Denise, because Denise is like, could you get off the phone? And I go, what do you want me to do? I'm working.
Yeah,
it is what it is. I mean, this is what I do.
Yeah, but can't do much about that. But like, it definitely has. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, it's called resolving problems. People are calling you, helping with the issue. Some of them are business related. Some are just friend related.
Yeah,
and I'm a friend of my friends.
Okay, makes sense.
So you need your friends always. You don't know when you need them. So you have to help and resolve people.
So you're always there for them.
I'm a true believer in that. You know, that's what makes this world the world, in the sense of having your friends and knowing when you need to resolve a problem. You can pick up a phone. I know I can call Ben for this. You know, I know Ben's gonna pick up the phone. What do you need? I'm stuck here. I'll be there in 20 minutes or another one. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Quick reel or maybe a podcast done. Just let me know.
Yeah, true.
Okay, Manny. So I am very interested. I already know you a little bit.
Yeah.
So we talked about it also yesterday.
Yeah.
About your beginnings. So if you could tell us, how did you even start? What was, I don't know, your first job, first business? What did you do in your teenage years up to this point?
Apart from rambling all of Miami and hitting every spot that I can, lots of things. Listen. People ask me that question, and I always try to see if I can answer in a way that people can understand. For me in life, sometimes it's opportunities. Sometimes it's a little bit of luck. It's a little bit of also if you're in the right place at the right time. Mm-hmm. It's also the people you associate yourself with and where you hang out. So there's a time and place for a party, but there's a time and place when if you are thinking of your future. I know it's kind of tough for people at 18. What am I going to do? I see myself. Some of them do. Some of them say, I see myself in 4 years here, and they set the goals. I really wasn't that type of a person. I was the type of person that I was like, shoot from the hip. I mean, what's going on right now? And I deal with that. Let's say, I don't want to say life story because I'm just, I'm still young. So I don't want to say my life story. You say life story when you're already like about to, croak. But at the same time, I was like, my story to where I am today, let's say, was always associating myself with the people, friends and groups that I know that were people that all had the same mindset. Mm-hmm. Per se. as I did.
When it comes to mindset, what mindset would you say it
Mindset
was?
in the sense that you had time for party and party, but then also you say, okay, I want to get serious also in I want to do a business. I see myself doing this. Some other friends of mine weren't in that. Some other of my friends were just, okay, we're connected Friday. What are we doing Saturday? We're doing Sunday. And I get it. I was there too. But I knew how to juggle both of them. Just the fact of, again, I was always, since a younger age, always looking at news, looking at different projects, and I was interested in what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
It just, I guess it's a background that I had from my grandparents and stuff, coming from Cuba, and they were involved in Cuba, and they did a lot of stuff to try and make Cuba not what it is today, but to get it out of where it is today. So I guess there were, those are things that just instilled in me that I just liked. And so basically growing up, I always said, okay, what am I doing this summer now? It wasn't just like, okay, we're hitting the beach. I did, because a lot of my friends all hit the beach, but I also said, wait, I want to do something. I got to get a job. So I was always fortunate that my father had his own company, and my dad owned a very successful roofing contracting company. And my sister is the one that ran that since she graduated. She ran the
company. Whole company.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was her and my brother-in-law and everything. It was a family-owned business. But I that structure, I would go and work in the company during the summer times. And you asked me, what's my first job? Well, that was like more or less the job that I was brought into, and the fact of that my sister even said, hey, you can come over here, you can help me do ABC. And what was ABC? Well, you will go and resolve permits and stuff like that in the different cities, go and apply for this, go and apply for that. So I would help her with that. Fast forward a little bit more, so when people tell me, what was your real first job? For me, that wasn't really like a real first job, because I was like family.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you're like, oh, well, it's family, but it was a job. I had
you still had to work.
I had to do the stuff. So then later, again, because of friends of the family and friends of people, a friend of my mother, she had a very prominent position in Jackson Memorial and the University of Miami. And because I would always see her and we would always talk, and, oh, how you doing? What are you going to study? I was already 19 and stuff like that. And I said, well, I'm still, I'm looking maybe into business administration and marketing, which is what I like. And I was already involved, and we can talk about that, but, I was already involved always all my life with the League Against Cancer, since I was very young age. So people always associated me with the League and stuff that I did, and volunteer work and groups of kids that I would lead. And then she tells me, we have a great position in where we are right now. And I go, really? And she goes, yeah, you're going to be like a patient coordinator. You would have to deal with the patients and get their information, this and that. And I said, really? And I'm like, I'm going to leave what I'm doing now for this. And, my sister's the first one that told me, hey, go do that, because that's going to give you great experience in the real world. You're here with me in the office, but it's here with me at the office. So I went and I worked, and it was with UM. So I went to go work for University of Miami, and I started the job, and I had to deal with patients, and I think it was a great flow, because it had to do with cancer. Mm-hmm. And then because of the fact that already my background with the League Against Cancer, that I did volunteer, I really understood it. So again, it was what I told you in the beginning, a little bit of, who you know, luck and being at the right time.
The stars aligned.
Yeah. So then basically that happened. I went over there, I started working, and I was there I would say I don't. My memory doesn't go back anymore. I don't remember what happened even 2 weeks ago. But yeah, I think I was there until I know exactly when I was there until Hurricane Andrew, until we had a big hurricane here in Miami.
When was that? I mean, it was like 90s.
I think so. We can look it up. I
wasn't even there, so
I'm
it's
bad
fine.
to not even remember when Hurricane Andrew was.
We'll look it up.
Andrew, you'll look it up. People know what Hurricane Andrew was. Devastating.
Or if they don't, then they need to find out.
4 or 5 hurricane here in Miami. I still remember because I was coming back from a cruise that weekend with friends that we went on a cruise, and we got here on Sunday, and Hurricane Andrew was going to hit Sunday night to Monday morning. So, but when Hurricane Andrew came, what happened was, everything just got destroyed all over Miami. So then the construction, industry even went higher because you had to build. So what happens is that my sister then told me, hey, I need your help. So, we're going crazy here with so much stuff to do. And so I went over there and I left and I started working in again with my dad's company. And I took over the fact of helping them and everybody else with everything that we had to do with permits. And I mean, I was in every city that you can imagine in this county, everywhere. I was everywhere. So I had to go and help him. I mean, there was work for the next 6-7 years. So this is while I'm studying. And then, so that was that chapter. And then that starts dying down. So much when it starts dying down, again, because of my involvement with the League Against Cancer and the different things, I always get interested. I would always go to the county a lot for different issues.
To the county, you mean to?
Metro-Dade County.
Okay.
Which is, I explained that to you yesterday within all this craziness that we have within here, that you have all these municipalities within the county.
Yes.
Because everybody tells me, but this is the mayor from where? And this is the mayor from where?
There's so many mayors.
There's so many mayors. But again, we can get into that later, but every mayor represents an area. But Metro-Dade County is the biggest one and all those municipalities are within the boundaries of Dade County. So I would go there, resolve problems in the commission chamber and this and stuff that had to be done. Again, being at the right place at the right time. Another good friend of mine, she worked there for a county commissioner. She was a commissioner's aide, and we hit it off. He's a great guy. He was a great guy, and. From one day to the next that I was back and forth, we'd go to lunch with him and this and that. And one day he tells my friend, hey, I would love Manny to come and work with us. I would love Manny to come, and I love his way of talking to the people and dealing with the public. I think he'd be great working with our constituents in one of our district offices. So then, he offers me, the chief of staff at that time, that was for this other commissioner, asks me, hey, you want to come and work with us? And I'm like, okay, what the hell am I going to do there? I mean, I've never worked for a commissioner. Yeah, but listen, you do what you do. Just do it in our office. Yeah. When people get there and people call you and they're going to ask you, hey, I need to fill up the people are speeding. The street light's not working. I need a stop sign. You got to deal with them. The dog next door in my house doesn't stop barking at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So all these little things, I'm like, okay, I don't know if this is good or bad. But I did it. And I got involved with him. I loved it. I loved that world. I loved the world of politics. I loved the world of campaigning. I think it was so exciting. And it's even better when you believe in your candidate and wow, this guy really does a good job. So then fast forward with that one. He loses an election, and another person comes in. So then that person's going to come in now and brings their own staff. Everybody brings their own staff. So then what happens is that the commissioner next to him was just got elected, which was the ex-mayor of Miami, which was Maurice Ferre. And then Maurice became now Dade County Commissioner for District 7. So when he comes in there, I meet him. I had worked for the other commissioner from District 6. So he comes in, he meets everybody next door. Hey, how are you? How are you? Oh, you're the outgoing staff of this guy. I go, yeah, we're no longer there. I had met Maurice in various occasions and different social events as a younger person. Through the league, again, when we do our telethon, he would come and speak in the telethon. And, he had a very good memory and a photographic memory. And he would always say, where do I know you from? Where do I know you from? And I go, oh, no, Mr. Mayor, you know me from here. We met over here. We met over there. He goes, oh, that's great. That passes. One day we're at another person's house. I don't want to mention names, but very prominent family in Miami, Cuban-American family. And we're there for like a barbecue. I was friends with the sons of this family. And just so happens that then Maurice was there for that event as well. So there, and had just passed like a week. And then he sees me again. He goes, oh, you again. And I go, oh, how are you? How you doing? Yeah. Guys look at me like, who is this guy? Is this guy following me?
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. So again, going back to, being at the right place at the right time and a little bit of luck. So he's there. He asks the father of my friend, he goes, man, I see this guy. He goes, oh, yeah, no, Manny, he's very involved. At his age, he's been very involved in the community. He does a lot for the league. He heads that whole group over there with the juniors, which is a group of young kids that we do stuff for, to raise funds during the year for cancer. And he goes, yeah, I don't know, but I see him. And then guy goes, okay, leaves it like that. I'm leaving. He tells me, you and I have to talk. And I go, okay, sure. Yeah. Whenever you want. That day passes. So this is the best one of all. 4 or 5 days pass. There's a very prominent pastor here. His name is passed, but his name was Reverendo Martin Añorga. Very Christian, wonderful, wonderful man. He had a radio station here called Radio Fe, which is, a very Christian radio station, very prominent Christian. He had a great program that called, in Spanish, was called Opina la Juventud, which was the opinions of the young. So he would always have guest speakers, like, he would probably have asked you, ask Eddie, or ask like, he wants to come and he would love to get the young people's opinion on what's going on in the world and what's going on in their city and stuff like that, and talk a little bit about their faith. What so happens? I was there with him. The next speaker that was coming after that I was going to speak with him,
the mayor, was
the ex-mayor. And then that one was like, that already was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So he gets there. He sees me and he goes, yeah, he already knows my name. Manny, again? And I go, Mr. Mayor, how are you? I mean, I swear I'm not following you. I mean, at that time, there was not even cell phones. So we only had beepers. And then he's talking there to the Reverend, very good friends with my thing. And then he goes to my thing, this kid. And then my thing goes, oh, he just looked at me and goes, this is the guy you need working for you. Right there and then, he tells me, you're not leaving. Wait for me till I finish. And so and behold, when he leaves, he sits down with me in the lobby. He goes, I want you to come work for me. And I go to him, okay, what do you want me to do? He tells me, I want you to go and head my district, like I did with the other commissioner. So then his district was a little bit different. I mean, it's involved Coral Gables, Key Biscayne, a little bit of City of Miami. It involved a lot of different diverse groups throughout Miami, which was District 7. And that's how everything started for me real job, working for him at 22, 23 years old. Started with him. And then little by little, there with Maurice, fast forward so many years forward. I mean, I was with Maurice 20-some years of my life. So
it was until we were like 40 something?
Yeah, I was, because then I I eventually climbed up the ladder there with him. He ran for other office. He put me as his director for the Hispanic campaign. Then later on, I became chief of staff for him. And then after that, we ran for other campaigns. I was his campaign manager. So all the campaigns that we did, I would run for, I would do campaign manager for Maurice. And I became his right-hand guy. Even after we left politics, he offered me to go work privately for him and continue being his chief of staff within his realm of his businesses. He was a very successful businessman from not being a politician. He was a successful businessman. So I went and I helped run his companies and his offices and his day-to-day
operations.
Yeah. And from there, what can I tell you? One of my biggest mentors, apart from my father, Maurice, after that, had so many offers of different new politicians, coming into power, that everybody was like, calling me and saying,
everybody knew about the Manny.
Hey, do you think you could come in? Do you think you can come in and you want to be my chief of staff? You want to be my chief of staff? And I said, I'm sorry, I already have a good job. And what I told you from the beginning, when you believe in a candidate, and when you really believe in that person you work for, it's tough to leave.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You feel comfortable. You believe in what that person stands for,
and you want to be a part of it.
You want to be a part of it, and and it's not the fact that Maurice was always totally out of politics, because Maurice was always very involved in politics, regardless, state-wise, local-wise, and national-wise, because Maurice was known internationally. No, nothing against any other people or politicians nowadays, but nobody who had the name and recognition throughout the whole United States as Maurice did. Like, you can go to Spain and mention Mayor Ferrer. You can go to England, you can mention Mayor Ferrer. And everybody knew him. You can mention a mayor here now and somewhere else, people don't know him. Maurice was the guy that brought every international banking down to Brickell. He set a quest when he was mayor of Miami. He went out there, not Metro-Dade, of Miami. So equivalent to, for those people that don't understand.
He was mayor of City of Miami.
He was mayor of City of Miami, what is Francis Suarez today.
Yes.
Okay. Which Francis is doing apart from that, I think France is doing a spectacular job. And in not trying to compare apples to apples, but in comparison, Francis is like a younger version of Maurice in the fact of internationally known, everybody knowing, there's the mayor of Miami. You follow me? So ironically, his dad was an ex-mayor too. Francis's dad was a mayor of Miami. But, at that time, there was not that much, he was concentrated in other stuff. Maurice was a guy that was always concentrated in the fact of the future of Miami, where Miami should be. Maurice always was a visionary. That's why they call him, the father of modern Miami, because he always visioned where Miami should be 15 and 20 years forward. He had the staff, you and me or whatever, you deal with the public here with the potholes and the lights. Maurice was always thinking of where the Miami International Airport should be. Maurice was the visionary of that Miami International Airport should be the hub to Central and Latin America. Maurice was the visionary of like where the port of Miami should be and being one of the most important ports of the whole United States. So again, he was always thinking of where we should go and where we should be. So again, in that part, that was to your first original question. What was my first job? I gave you the fact of where the first job, what I got, how being in the right time at the right place and knowing the people got to where I got. It was just like, one link to the other link to the other link to the other link. And again, I credit that to your mindset of where you feel you got to go. You say to yourself, wait a second, do I go meet X, Y, and Z at the bar that everybody's out there now? Or do I go to this event that I know it's going to be a little bit boring, and I prefer being with my friends at XYZ bar, but I'm going to go to this event for a little while, see some of the movers and shakers and the people that really are into the business and what I like to do, let them see me, and then later that event is finished at 8, 9. I'll leave from that event at 9 o'clock, and then I'll go meet XYZ at the bar. XYZ was already since 5.
Yeah, and you probably haven't missed out on much either.
Correct. The party starts anyway after 9 anyway. So
Exactly.
then basically, I would be at this part over here, rubbing elbows with the people that I knew that I wanted to surround myself with. So, that's how I would do it. And that's how I, continue climbing a little bit. And okay, here I had a jacket on. As soon as I get in the car, I take off the damn jacket, take off the tie, be with my shirt, just open the shirt, ready to go mingle at the club. Done. Not an issue. As soon as I get there, hey, Manny, we're waiting for you. I'm here. So you just had to balance it out. And again, mindset. Focus on what you really want to do. I'm not telling you that, you have to now say, screw everything and that's what you have. No, you go have some fun because you were still a young person. And I do believe in young people having some fun and experiencing what life is and go with your friends to a bar for a football game and go to this thing for that. Or, I think that you could handle both, especially at a certain age.
I agree.
I mean, it's important to experience all those things. At least I try and tell those to my kids too. You got to experience your college years. If you're fortunate enough to go to college. If you don't go to college and you go to a tech vocational, a tradesman, perfect. I mean, some of those positions are even paying even better than college educational stuff nowadays. But you have to experience a little bit of everything. I believe that gives you a good base. I'll tell you with this one. Everybody tells you, "Oh, what degree did you get? What school did you go to?" And I would say, well, if you graduated from here, not mocking any university, they're all great. If you graduated from UM, if you graduated from FIU, if you graduated from here, you graduated from Harvard, Cornell. But then, like I always stayed in Miami, and then people tell you, so how many degrees you have? And I go, no, I have just, my business administration and marketing bachelor's degree. Oh, okay, great. I go, but which is the best degree that I got? And they tell me which one.
From the School of Life.
I go, not only the School of Life, but I call it incredibly enough, it has the same initials as a very well-known school in Florida. I go, I graduated from FSU. And they go, oh, you're from FSU? And I go, no. I graduated from Flagler Street University. And they go, what is that? I go, yeah. I learned the streets. I learned the street talk. I learned what the people want to say. You gotta be out there. You can't just be textbook savvy. You have to have a little bit of everything. Textbook savvy will work for certain things that you're just gonna work in, in a certain position. But for what I was gonna do, nothing that I learned in textbook was reality.
Yeah.
At least for what I did, if we're being honest. I mean, it's the truth. What I was hit with in streets with problems and people's concerns. I go, wait. I didn't learn this in ethics. I learned this in this class. I could have read books and it never would have prepared me for what I hit, in the real world when I hit the political scene and working with the constituents and the voters from the streets. So, you good there?
Yep.
Okay. So more or less, that's a little recap.
That's a very short story.
I mean, short, long, but it's my story. Everybody will tell you again. How did you start? What's the secret recipe? I mean, listen. You're the person that can make your own recipe. You can take a little bit from this one, you can take a little bit from that one, and then make your own dish. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like a lot of people just trying to copy someone else's path. But
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with trying to copy somebody's path because if it paved the way, but again, if there's something that you think that you could do better, I always say don't be scared of sharing it. As being in the office with me, I'm vocal. I'll say what I feel. I say what I think. I mean, I sit down with clients, and some of them will say, some people want you to go by the book. I sometimes don't even prepare for these things. I shoot from the hip. I have life experience. So I sit down and they go, oh, give us an example of what the best campaign was. I'm sorry, but what I think you're doing, I think sucks. Oh, everybody's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I mean, how can you say that? I go, well, I mean, that's my humble opinion. You called my agency to come and give you our opinion and what you think is best to do. I think you should go this route. I mean, I think this is going to work. And, we've been here already for 20 some years, so something's working.
Yeah, 100%.
We're doing something right.
So during this whole recap that you just gave, I have a few questions when it comes to that. So let's start from the beginning. You said that you had a family business.
Yeah.
And basically my question is, do you think that having a family business helped you instill the business mindset in you, and that you gotta take care of your business? What did it teach you? Because I'm sure it's different than, let's say, if all of your family were just working a regular job instead of running their own business.
I have to be honest with you, 100% yes. I do believe that having a family business instilled the importance of, hey, you have to go and resolve. Because when you're working, a regular job, 9 to 5, it's the same monotony. You wake up, get dressed, go to that job, do your job, punch out, back home, start all over the next morning. If you're good at what you're gonna do, you're gonna continue there. If you're not good, well, they'll fire you depending on what where you work at or whatever. Some companies now can't even fire people. But when you own your own business, your family owns your business, you have to be on top of your game.
100%.
Because
no one else will do it for you.
I mean, nobody else is going to do it for you. So that check's going to come in that next month only if you go and achieve to get that next check and achieve to go and do more estimates to get more jobs. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. Flexibility, there is a little bit of flexibility, but there is a lot of concern because, I remember my sister always saying, oh, we're kind of slow this month, instead of saying, instead of having 20 some, contracts, we only have 5. So then now you're dealing with the fact of a staff, you're dealing with employees that you have, and you're dealing with those employees' families that they're counting on you to put food on the table and pay rent at their houses. So there is a sense of stress, and the fact, and to your question, does it instill? It does. It instills a lot because it gives you that. I think it gives you that little, test that either you're good for this, or you're just, like I always say, you're either meant to rule your own world and do your stuff, or you're meant to work for somebody and be as best as you can and good at what you do at that company. But you're comfortable and you know that you have no issues in the sense of you can count on a check, every 2 weeks or on a monthly basis. And that gives you some sense of security that you say, nah, I'm not one of those people. I'm okay. And I'm not saying anything bad because there's how many people are successful working in corporations making tons of money. I'm just saying that there's some people that sometimes say, hey, I'm done. I always call it the famous Jerry Maguire moment when, the movie when the guy just, he works for, I don't know if you ever saw Jerry Maguire, but.
And I unfortunately didn't.
Okay, great movie. But again, he works for a sports agency company and he just, he burnt out. And he said, screw this. I want to go do this on my own. But then he said, wow, it's so hard. Now you left from that company and the power and the backing of that name of that company to go do your own thing. So he thought it was going to be so easy now to go and pick up, all these players, basketball, football. Nobody wanted to go with him. After he wrote this essay that the way he really felt about corporate America. And, it only took one person that really believed in him to, go with him. And he made that guy whole again and successful. And then now everybody wanted to join him. So again, it's, I'm comparing it because that's more or less, a moment that he had, that sometimes he even questioned the moment. What did I do? What the hell did I do? Let me see if these people will take me back. I was making great money. I had a corporate card. I had everything I wanted to do. And the guy had an epiphany that morning, just woke up and he goes, screw all this. I don't want this anymore. So again, it does. I think that the family business did instill a lot in me in the sense of taking risks. But I always knew that, listen, what's the worst that can happen? If I failed, I know I go and pick up a job anywhere.
Yeah, I've
never been scared of that.
Whenever there's like some kind of risk that I need to take, the one question I ask myself is, am I going to die? This is the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah, unless you're skydiving or jump out of a plane.
But like usually the answer for this question is no.
No.
So
go for it.
The rest, like, you can figure it out.
Usually. You can figure it out. I mean, listen, you have to be responsible now. If you get to a point that you're already now a married person, you have kids, school, that's what I'm saying. Everything's so important for you to do these decisions at timely moments. Not just say, okay, I'm just going to waste my time. Oh, party, I'm great. And then all of a sudden now you hit with this thing. And in one of those parties, something happened. You hooked up. Somebody knocks you into, oh my God, who are you? I'm pregnant. Oh shit. You know what I'm saying? What? So these are the moments that you have to like say, okay, when do I do these risks? When do I do these risks? Again, I'm not saying either, because you can have a very loving and supporting wife and family and say, hey, you know what? Go for it. Let's do it. We do it together. But it's harder. Yeah. It's harder when you have to worry about X, Y, and Z now at the house. So much easier when you're like where you are right now. So again, I always say, even tomorrow, if I fail and I said, okay, this is not working anymore, I have no issues that I can pick up the phone and start looking for a job or a position somewhere, and I'm not scared of it. I know I will find something immediately. I know some people tell me, man, you're overqualified for that. It doesn't matter, brother. Just give me the opportunity. I'm going to go work for that. I'm not scared of it. I mean, it is what it is. But you always say you have the opportunity of doing this.
Yeah.
So however you look at it, did it succeed? Well, I think so. I've 20 some years in business already. Sometimes things just crash and fail, and if you have to go and do something else because you have to continue putting food and providing and for the family, you have to go and succeed in something else. And I'm not nothing scared of that. And if that would happen, I always say, I did great for 20 some years. This is a new chapter in my life. It is what it is. As I say, it is what it is. As you know, my great little saying here, money never sleeps. So you gotta keep on thinking. You gotta keep on thinking of how to keep on doing that next one and keep on doing that next one and keep on doing that next one. That's what keeps you going. That's what keeps you going. Yeah,
100%. My next question is, you said that you basically left the job at your family business to pursue this job at UM.
Yeah.
And you said that, you didn't know what to do. You didn't know how it works, but you took it.
Yeah.
And what it seems to me is that basically we're looking for a growth opportunity. Even though even the money could be a little worse, it feels like you just wanted to learn something new.
At all, the money was much better. The worst people to work for is your family, because they just want to pay you peanuts, and because they're saying, "Hey, you live at home. I feed you. You have a roof. You have clothing. You're lucky you're getting this money." So, And that point, I was super happy. I kept on getting those checks during every 2 weeks. I'm like, wow. I was like, what do I do with this? What do I do with this money? Of course, you were hit also now with the fact of, they're taking off this or taking off that. They're taking off this or taking off that. But no, I saw it. Not only that, I saw it as also experience. experience and the fact of wherever else you wanted to move now in life, it was a much better factor when you put down on your resume, hey, I just didn't work for my family and I was sheltered by my family business for 20 some years of my life. I worked for a company outside, a very well-renowned, school health clinic company, which was now it's U Health, but the University of Miami Hospital and Clinics at that time, and always affiliated with Jackson Memorial. And at all, I picked up a whole new trade, whole new world out there. So not at all. I welcome all those experiences. I treasure them. I love them. I love sitting down in the cafeteria talking to all these folks and listening to different people's stories and people how they got there and how this one started there and how this one moved to this direction. I mean, it's you can call it the American dream. You can call it anything, but it's how it works. So happy that happened that way. I'm very happy that it happened that way.
You basically were saying that when you got into politics, it always just so happened that everybody knew you and like, oh, Manny, I met you here, I met you here.
Yeah.
And then the opportunity came.
Yeah. So
if you could speak a little bit about the importance of putting yourself out there to get the opportunity and like, even in the beginning, I'm sure you were just like going there, but nothing was really happening. But once it came, it became like life-changing.
It paid off. So yeah, it's like I told you. I mean, it's you have to. I would always recommend. Listen, we live in a whole new tech-savvy world. You have every information in the tip of your fingers on your phone. You can Google in your area what's going on in Coral Gables today, what's going on in Miami today. You have 12, 15, 20 events going on at the time. Free, not even stuff that you have to pay. You go to them. You go to them because you're going to these things to see people, meet people, get an opportunity. Everybody is going to say, "Oh, yeah, hi, how are you? Oh, my name's Manny. My name's Ben. How are you? What do you do, Ben? Oh, I do this. I do." Wow, that's interesting. I love it. When sometimes you're standing and you're listening to these people's story, you go, "Wow, what an interesting story. I would love to have this guy on my podcast," because everyone has a story. However, good, bad, boring, exciting, everybody has a story. Everybody has a story of where they are now today. Everybody has a story how they got there. And so I would go to all these places, like I told you before, knowing that, I was dealing with older people. I would go to a lunch place every day here. The lunch place, I think the youngest person in that place was, there were two people. It was a good friend of mine, myself, and the youngest other person there was maybe 67, 68, always. And it was a very, very famous, it still exists here, but it's a very famous little restaurant here that a lot of prominent Cubans would go to, older guys.
What's the restaurant?
Huh?
What's the restaurant?
Where?
No, what's the restaurant? What's the name?
It's called La Habana Vieja. It's Old Havana. So, but it had a little lounge area. And in that little lounge area, you had every older guy. You had 60s, 70s, 80s of people that were either prominent people in Cuba that everybody knew, their families. And a lot of them came here and they had to work now harder here in the United States. They had money in Cuba, but as everybody knows, the regime came and took everything away from everybody and they had to start brand new here again. But these people lived off their past. It was a great place to sit down. And you remember when we used to hang out at this club and play this and play cards and play dominoes. And it was a great, nostalgic area of them going back to their past. And I think it was important because it really made them feel whole again. But at the same time, me and my friend that we were always there, so when people come and meet us and go, "What are you guys doing in this place?" I mean, you have people in the corner, the guy fixing his dentures, but it was wonderful. So my wife now, at that time, she started being my girlfriend. Sometimes, hey, come meet me for lunch here. She would sit there and she goes, what the heck is this? Why? I go, listen, this is the best place that you can imagine. We have a great time here because you learn so much. You will learn so much from these veterans. The stories, the way they would tell you how you should treat people, how you should be with people. And the great thing is that those people knew other people here in Miami. And then you were probably saying, no, because I'm looking for a job. Hey, wait a second. I love this guy. Let me do a couple of phone calls. And that's how it was.
Does this place still exist?
It does. It really does. It's in another place now, and there's another generation now. The ones of it'll be probably me now in the future. There now when I'm 80, that I'll pass by over there. But still, it has all these great memories, and has all these great anecdotes that you can remember of quotes that they gave you. I can tell you of so many people that already passed away. I went to so many of those people's funerals and masses because they're all gone. But you learn so much from them. I mean, which I always say to some of the young people today, listen, don't mock when you're sitting down. Some people are like, the young people nowadays don't have the patience to sit down with older people anymore. I see it. I say, my kids' friends, okay, no, Dad, we gotta go. We gotta, listen, there's nothing like sitting down and telling stories of other things and how you got to places. You pick up some stuff. You're still gonna have that for the future, wherever we are, wherever we end up. However the world ends up, and the fact of, tech, more tech, you still need some, even though we're becoming all robotic and all this, there's still going to be some human activity. And that rapport, you have to have it. It has to be there. It has to be there. It has to be there.
So because you're a very people person, I can tell.
No. Okay. Yeah, I am.
Okay. Where do you think it came from? Because you just very social, very talkative.
Well, again,
were you always like that, or do you think
always? Yeah, they would have to tell me to shut up. Manny, shut up. So be quiet already. But I was always. My dad's more of a tranquil, silent guy. Now that he's a little bit older, he's more vocal. My mother, that came from my mother's side. My grandmother's side, very vocal, very social, very people person. Always inventing something to do. What's the next thing? What are we doing here? What are we doing there? So, you take that upon, even like now when we do business here, we don't only supply and help clients, but we're always sitting and brainstorming of what else we should do. Let's do this. Let's do something else. Let's do that. Let's come up with this. And then if it fails, it fails. If it does good, it does good. So that those are things that I believe in, that you have to always have to be creative and coming up with stuff and coming up with something else. You got to be up to the times and mix a little bit of the past and still into the future, because people like that. But that whole attitude, I've always been the same way. My hypeness is always like, I'm like on Red Bull 24/7. Like if I have a Red Bull, not plugging in Red Bull, but
No, it's probably
like if I have
colada.
No, and I don't do that. I don't do.
You don't drink coffee?
I don't do. I just
at
drink,
all.
I just drink a small cup of American coffee. As a matter of fact, Dunkin'. That I love Dunkin' Donuts at 6:10 in the morning. Exactly.
It's always 6:10?
6:10 in the morning. I'm up out of bed at 6. I'm in the kitchen. Do my vitamins. 6:10 in the morning. Sit down there. Boom. Start watching my news. Drink my coffee. Then from there, start doing daddy duty and waking up kids. And let's go. Breakfast. So on and so forth. Everybody get with it. The same rhythm of the day. But that's it. That's the only cup of coffee that I'll have during the day. Not like here that I'm in the office, everybody's, sipping down coladas every 2 seconds. I couldn't do that. Imagine my hypeness more on coffee. I'd be through the roof. Probably. People are just like, tie that man down. Tie that man down. You know, I have some friends of ours that we all know that sometimes they'll call me and go, hey man, I'm just calling you to give me a little bit of a boost because I'm a little bit down. I go, what are you talking about, bro? What do you mean you're down? Even though if I'm down or if I'm whatever, I'll be giving people a little bit down. And they go, man, you know, I mean, this fell through. Don't worry about it. But what do I say? Money never sleeps. You can't sleep. The only time, as it says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. So you have to be inventing. You have to keep on thinking of what to do. Or, you know, people are saying, hey, Manny, what do you think I should do this? And I go, wait a second, I have another idea for you. Why don't you do this and do that? And they go, wow, that sounds great. Which is what I always say, STL. What is STL?
Squeeze the lemon,
brother. You got, you know, people sometimes just grab the lemon and you grab it by your hand, you just squeeze it. And you say, oh, it's done. No, it's not. Go grab the lemon juicer now. Put it in that press, squeeze it down. You see that more juice come out. And you're like saying, damn, I almost got rid of the lemon. I go, there you go. So think about the business. What are you doing? No, you gotta, how are you gonna profit? How can you do a little bit from all that business? How you get from here? How do you get from here? How do you get from there? Wow, I know Ben. Wow, you know what? Ben's good friends with this guy that has this business that I've been, wanting to. Ben, how can we do a lunch? How can we do a meeting? How can we do a coffee? You gotta be like that. You can't stop. You can't stop. You can't go to sleep, like I say. You sleep when you die.
Yeah, and you rest then too.
That's it.
Well, we say
that's what we say. We don't know what happens next.
We say this even in Poland that you if someone says, "Oh, I'm tired," you will rest when you die.
When you rest when you die. And again, we don't know what happens there either. I haven't been able to chat with anybody that's been out there and come back and tell me, "Hey, by the way, you're gonna work double time on the other side." But
hopefully not.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, again, you just gotta keep on striving. It's all up to you. It's really your mindset. Again, like I told you from the beginning. And where do you want to go? There's people that are just saying, hey, I'm good here. I'm good. I'm good. I'm not telling you that I don't like to enjoy life. I'm not telling you I like to travel because I love it. Mm-hmm. But again, you need to make money in order to do that. Now, could you travel like that? Yeah, you can travel. You can go and stay in where 5 other people stay and use one bathroom, but I choose not to. I want to stay in a hotel that I have my own room and stuff like that. So there's everywhere you do stuff to keep on bettering yourself, but it's your mindset. And if you're that type of person that you're comfortable where you are, great for you. I'm a type of person, I keep on pushing myself to something else. And somebody tells me, oh my God, I'm not going to explore that business. Why not? Let's go and explore it. You never know. You may be good at it. If you're not, okay. Nobody can tell you, hey, did you try it? It's like that. People tell you, oh my God, have you been to that new steakhouse? It sucks. Okay. You know what? I got to go anyway. I got to go try it for myself. Maybe that day you went sucked. Maybe that cut of steak that you got wasn't good. I enjoyed it. You got to try everything for yourself. You can't take people's words for it.
Okay, now I have a couple questions when it comes to leadership.
Talk to me.
So,
sorry, just looking here.
Why you never ran for a mayor? Or
why?
Some even
Well, a lot of people ask me that. So here's the thing. This is an honest podcast.
Very honest.
I like to be powers behind that power. I feel that I can do more as the person, as a chief of staff or of the politician than the politician. I have no issue being the politician, but I just feel that it's too stressful. Sometimes if you already have a family, it puts a lot of pressure. Listen, I tip my hat off at anybody that runs for politics. Doesn't matter what party you're affiliated with, Democrat, Independent, Republican, Libertarian, whatever it is. It is a excruciating and tough job, and you're really doing a lot to become a politician. So, because it's a stressful life to put on your family and everybody, because you got to take so much crap from everybody. Even if you do good 90%, that 10% is always going to bother you. You're never going to find 100% of everybody saying, I love what you do. I love what you do. It's never going to happen. I never wanted to do it because, again, I like being a resolver. Yeah. And then, being the politician, you have to deal with certain things and this and that. And if you're the person behind the politician, you could go and resolve this problem, go and help these people, go and help this issue, go make this happen. Gives you a little bit more of flexibility, But you're not the first one, of course. I mean, everybody. I mean, I've had people come and try to entice me to, Manny, go run for this district, go run for this, go run for that. I got no. I'm good. I'm good. What do you need? I'll help you. Let's go get it done. If I believe in you and you're a good candidate and you stand for what I think so, believe me, you're gonna have my support. I love it. But leave me behind the scenes trying to resolve the problems and work the problems out. That's what I like.
We're running a little short on time. Okay. So I have 3 more questions.
Okay, go
One
for
is kind of like your opinion. I personally very much like the leadership that we have here in Florida.
Yes.
With Francis Suarez, our mayor of City of Miami, and
yes,
our governor, Ron DeSantis.
Yes.
And I was wondering, what's your opinion on that? And comparing maybe to other states too.
Well, listen, I think that sorry, I hate it.
Don't worry.
Go over there. I'm gonna go. I think that, and again, let me be clear. This is not a Democrat or a Republican issue, okay? Because Maurice, when I worked for Maurice is a Democrat. Maurice was a Democrat. I worked for a Democrat all my life. But Maurice was a Democrat that was always a gentleman that knew exactly. He was a modest Democrat. And it wasn't the fact of you lean towards what the party's doing, but what you think is right. So I think that, like, Ron DeSantis, I think is doing a great job because he's doing what he thinks is right for the state of Florida. Like him or don't like him, everybody's running to Florida. Everybody's leaving from where they're leaving.
You can't deny that. Like, everybody's coming here.
So then you can try as the Democrat to find faults on him, and you as a Republican can try and find faults. But the guy, what he's doing is trying to push Florida to the max and prosper. And you can't be mad at him for that. And so you want to get mad at other things. We can nitpick this to whatever, if something they're taking off the school, or people should learn this or people should not learn that. Listen, we could be here for 2 years discussing and arguing those points, as they do now on all these shows. But don't take away the fact that the guy is a good administrator for Florida, and your businesses are making money. He saw when everything was hurting, let's open up. He followed Texas, what Abbott did over there, because Abbott opened up first. And he said, I like what these people are doing. And you have to continue. Life has to continue, because life has to continue. Even with the COVID situation that everything's shut down, everybody learned how are you going to do? You just can't sit down and not do anything in the world and live off what? That's where we are today money. Now, with the fact of all the money it was printed and this and that. I mean, it sucks. So, you in that retrospect, again, local leaders here for me that are doing spectacular jobs. Vince Lago, our mayor of this area here, Coral Gables. Vince has an extraordinary vision. He reminds me a lot of Maurice. And not trying to be biased because I know him, but he attends to his people in his community, but he also is showing the people in the community where the city needs to be. You follow me? And I think that's very important. So that's one person that I'd be looking out for as a very, very, very bright future.
Hopefully we'll get him on the podcast here.
And absolutely. And Francis as well. Very bright future. I think Francis has done an extraordinary job also in the city of Miami, for the city of Miami. So again, all people that we have to support because they're young people. It doesn't matter what affiliation, even if there's some good up and coming Democrats as well out there, you got to support them because that's our future. But to keep them within the lines of your thoughts and how everything should be run, not to one extreme, nor to the other extreme. You don't like this, but that's fine. But you got to keep the city running, making money, making it a good city, trying to make it livable for people that live here, and as much as they can as a city, mayor or city administrator,
Okay, my next question is, first of all, shout out to one of my favorite podcasts, Money Buys Happiness.
Money Buys Happiness.
And this is the question.
We got Ed looking, saying that we got to go over there.
Oh, okay. So question, do you believe money buys happiness?
No, I don't. I think happiness can be at whatever level. Money resolves problems and money helps, situations. But for me, money doesn't buy happiness. You could be happy in a 1-bedroom apartment as you can be happy in a 10-bedroom apartment. I think what money does is money helps your problems and solutions. It resolves headaches in the sense of like, oh my God, I can't pay. You have the money to pay rent. Oh my God, I can't pay this bill. You have money to pay. Oh my God, I can't pay. Some people, is that happiness? No, because if you're worrying about all that stuff, you're not really happy. So I think that happy. You could be happy going to the beach with your ice and your cooler and a nice blanket and an umbrella, and you park there and you walk to the beach as I always did when I was younger and I didn't have money to stay in a place, and that's it. Prepare your sandwiches and sit there with your significant other and have a great afternoon. Now, would you have also a great time if you go and rent a cabana at a certain hotel, a $600 cabana, and, bring me this, bring me a club, bring me this. Yeah, I'm not saying no. Now, look at it. I don't know. Maybe some people are like, oh, you're such a bullshitter, you're talking shit. I don't think so. I mean, you'll be happy in both. I mean, if it's just that moment you're saying to that person that's with, sitting in the sand, are you happy right now? Yeah. Ask the guy in the low, are you happy right now? Yeah, I'm happy. What's the difference? Okay, this one's worth something. This is worth nothing. But at that moment, they're happy at what they're doing. So that's for me when it says, does money buy happiness? I think money buys just
peace of mind.
Peace of mind. Very well put. Helps that, again, makes life easier, easier. But sometimes, remember, have you seen the news with all these people that have so much money and then all of a sudden somebody killed somebody, this one killed that one because, and then to inherit the 5 million, this one I get 10 million. I mean, it's screwed up. And then you're saying, what the fuck is that all about? How are you going to, why are you killing people? And you thought they were happy. So, and then you see a lot of artists and celebrities that are multi-millionaires, and all those people are
miserable
and depressed in their life and in rehabs and in this and taking drugs and doing that, and say, how can you do that when you have everything in your hands? No, but you tell them money's not everything. I wish I just had a regular, they'll tell you, I wish I had a life like yours. Look, you have great 4 friends. Oh, you have a great family on Saturday. Everybody gets together and just barbecues. What I mean? Nobody's happy. You're not satisfied. So does that answer your question on money buys happiness?
I think it answers pretty well. All right, the last question.
Yes.
So this podcast is called Better Globally, and we explore... Better Globally.
Yes. Yes.
We explore art of becoming better in every way.
Yes.
That means globally.
Yes.
How do you think how to live more happy, more meaningful, and more purposeful life? How to become better in every way? What's your number one tip?
To become better is up to you. I mean, it really is. I mean, take notes from people you admire and people that are mentors to you and in trying to become better. But again, mindset. It's all what you put in your mindset. Everything gets resolved one way or the other. You resolve stuff. To get better, you need to be better here. You get better here, you can do better. You got to talk, you got a lot of psychotherapy in your own thing. What helps you? A good book, read a good book. You want to hear another podcast of somebody else, hear a podcast. You want to read something, but it's you. You're the only one that can, really put that positive mindset into your body. Once you put that mindset into your body, then you're going to reciprocate that to other people who are near you. And the fact of somebody coming right there, man, why are you always so happy? Well, you have no other choice. You have a pain, go and try and resolve it. If they tell you have to be with that pain there for always, well, what the hell am I going to do? Take a pill and just keep on going and try and be and make the best that you can with that. For success, I always say, is there a secret sauce? There really isn't. For me, it's just a sense of, again, where do you want to be? What is it you want to do? Go and try and do it. If you succeed, bless you. If you fail on it, bless you. You continue. You throw 20 balls in the air, you see which one's going to hit. You know what I'm saying? I bet you 4 or 5 are going to hit at a time. And you go, damn, what happened here? And that gives you a path. It's like, all these people athletes, they train to become a football star. And then you had that moment, okay, are they going to pick me up? Is there a university that's going to get me? Some people don't have a backup plan. And it hits you if you're not picked up, or it hits you when you get injured and you're out. What do I do? You have to have your plan A, you have to have your plan Bs. And don't be discouraged if plan A doesn't. Sometimes, that wasn't the one that worked. And then plan B turned out to be the best one.
You'll never know until it happens.
You have to try. You have to try. You have to try. You have to continue. You have to have that mindset, spirit, and just keep on moving forward. Just put those blinders and just go, and go for it. People say, man, you're crazy. Don't do that, Ben. Well, don't worry about it. The only way I'm going to know if it works or doesn't work is trying it. You could become, in a year, I can see now that we can't even talk to Ben. Because Ben now is in a studio with 20 guests lined up that nobody, you have people begging his booking talent. I want to be booked in Ben's podcast. I want to be booked. Oh, well,
don't worry, you will always be on the VIP
but I'm just
list.
Saying, you're never going to know. You're never going to know until you try.
All right, Manny, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for even considering me, or thank you for even letting people think that, this is going to do something for them. But if it does, great. If it doesn't, hey, it worked for me.
You definitely shared already so much wisdom and tips. We have to do it again because I still have so much questions. We're just running short on time.
We can talk about so much other stuff in Miami.
Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah, next time this is going to be run 3 hours long at least or something.
We can have a multiple conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Ben.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
All right. He's got it. Let's stop.